From Super League to Olympic distance to age group world records to Kona. Go longer with the right fuel at the right time with SFuels.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from beautiful St. George, Utah. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by Master Spas, Zoot Sports, the original triathlon brand, HOKA, Let's Fly, SFuels, Go Longer, Biostarks.com. Use the code BWB10 for a 10% discount. Quintanaroo, Form Smart Swim Goggles, Zion's Bank, Premium Plus Sports, and, of course, our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest, just one of the most consistent guys on the circuit, Mr. Matt Russell. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me, Bob.
Always a pleasure. This is your hometown now.
It is. It is.
Is it fun seeing the proliferation of triathletes coming in and all the buzz that's happening?
Yeah, this week is definitely a little different week than normal. I mean, just going to swim, I'm probably seeing about 8 or 10 more athletes on the road in my short little commute. So, yeah, it's been good. Very
cool. And not racing, is that hard for you?
No, I've probably qualified for 70.3 Worlds 6, 7, 8 times, but I always decline because
you're an Ironman guy.
I'm an Ironman guy, and they only pay the top 10, and there's 65 athletes, and I'm like, I'm going to go find an Ironman to do. I have a better chance getting on the podium, doing better at that than doing the half. So
when I look at you this year, and 39 years old?
Yes, I'm 39, yep.
So 6th at Mount Tremblant, 5th at Placid, 5th at Ironman Des Moines, 9th at Ironman Texas. But just a consistency. 3 of the swims were 57 minutes. Bike rides, 425, 427, 421. And what blows me away, the marathons, 255, 256, 257, 258. Who can be more consistent than that? You're unbelievable.
Yeah, I think really to be consistent, it kind of starts in training.
Yes.
I'm always constantly training every day. I already got a bike and a run in this morning, and have a swim later on today, probably even another session. But yeah, just being consistent is important.
So obviously when you got hit in Kona in 2017, at that point, you just severed muscle in your neck, your jugular vein on the right side.
Yep.
You still have stuff in there, right?
Yeah, I still have a piece of glass. But yeah, I severed my external jugular. My internal was exposed right there. And what saved my life was there was an anesthesiologist doctor there just spectating, and he applied the right amount of pressure.
If he hadn't?
If he wasn't there,
you would have bled out.
Yeah, I would. I mean, as it was, I was very close.
So when that type of thing happens, and you're a parent at the time, correct?
Yes, my son was only 3 months at the time.
Son was 3 months old. Yep. It changes everything in the way you approach life, the way you approach sport. How has it affected you in terms of just the way you deal with life on a day-to-day basis?
Well, it changes your perspective as in, what's important in life. And I try to appreciate life a little bit more. I try to not take things for granted, versus we always do. Everyone does, but every night before we go to bed, our whole family, we all say prayers and
yes.
What we're grateful for, and really just trying to be a role model to my son, and also be a role model and an inspiration to others too, because just because something bad happens to you, people always think as like, oh, it's a problem, it's a bad thing, but you want to try to rise above that and like, what, this wasn't ideal what happened to me, but because of it, I want to become stronger because of that. And that's kind of the attitude that I have. I'm trying to overcome whatever challenges I have, and I still have, everyone has challenges every day, but it's the challenges that make us stronger. And that's really what I'm focusing on. Like, what, I'm going to become stronger and a better person because of XYZ. So that's what I'm trying to do.
So when that happens in 17, and then you come back and get sixth in that same race when I'm sure a lot of the doctors are probably telling you, yeah, you may not want to be thinking about doing this sport anymore. Coming back and getting, that was your highest finish in Kona. To get sixth place the year after having nearly losing your life. That's one of the greatest moments in Ironman history, and I'm assuming one of the greatest in your history.
Yeah, it certainly was, and that just kind of, looking back into it, like, it just kind of shows that anything is possible if you put your mind to and your heart to, and
yes,
yeah, no matter what challenge you have, that you can overcome it, and miracles happen in both ways. It's a miracle that I'm here,
right,
and it's also a miracle that my goal was to finish in the top 10, and it happened. And if you would have told me that year, oh, you're gonna get top 10, I'd laugh at you. My goal was actually just to cross that finish line.
Of course.
But it came together that day, and we have days that come together, just like watching Ironman World Champion this year. I don't think Sam Laidlow was planning on finishing second, but he had a great race, and we have days that come together, and that's the important thing with life. It's we have miracles that happen every single day.
So during that race, where were you off the bike?
I can't remember exactly, but I ran my way up a little bit as well too.
Okay, but it wasn't not like you ran by 20 people or anything.
No, I didn't run that fast. But I ran like a 2:52 that year. Yeah, I mean, obviously the times are getting faster, but this year the weather conditions were really, really good.
Yep.
The bar's always getting leveled a little bit higher. So I like that though, because we need more challenges in our life. If you're not happy in your life, you're not growing. So you need to keep growing. You need to keep looking ahead. So I want to keep getting better in the swim. I want to keep getting better in the bike and the run too. So I plan on still being in the sport for a couple more years.
What's fascinating is I always tell people, if you're a runner, you're just a regular runner, when you get to 45 or so, you're not going to get a lot better. You're probably going to start to diminish a little bit. But as a triathlete, I mean, I'm 71, and I don't think I've had my best race yet. I mean, seriously, because I know, okay, I can swim faster if I put a little effort in there. I know I can ride faster. I know I can get a lighter bike. I know I can get lighter wheels. And I know that, in my world, 10-minute miles are the new 8-minute miles, right? When you start aging, you start looking at, 10 is fine. But, you know that you can get better. That's a pretty interesting part, because in a lot of other sports, you really don't get better as you age.
Yeah, well, there's so many disciplines that you can dig so deep into. So technology is becoming huge. Obviously, with like training with blood lactate, with the Norwegians, that's really big with them. The shoe technology is really big with the foam and also the carbon fiber.
Carbon plates, yeah.
And, the bike being aerodynamic. So you can always find these little tweaks here and there. But also the big tweak that you can do is also with your brain. And like one thing that I do pretty much all my riding inside on the trainer.
Right.
All right, what am I going to do during that time? I listen to tons of podcasts, podcasts about triathlon, but also podcasts about, neuroscience.
Well, you're talking about stem cells.
Yeah. You can learn so much, endless amount of things you can learn. So the brain is something that we can continue to keep developing and learning and growing as well. And I'm always constantly trying to challenge and push myself to new limits. Because if you're not, like, if in life you want to keep growing and learning, And my other few big things are having faith, keep believing, and having hope. And meshing all those things together, and then that will give you the drive to kind of wake up each day and be like, all right, what am I going to learn today? Because I'm a guy that's always going to try to keep learning.
So how does the Matt Russell of today, how is he different than the Matt Russell who towed the line at Ironman World Championship in 2017?
That's a good question. I think the biggest thing is trying to put a couple of things. First, after my accident, I wanted to have a closer relationship with the Lord. That was important with me.
Yeah.
And then also having a better relationship with my family. So those are two of the more important things for me. And I think the closer I grow to have a better relationship with the Lord and my family, life becomes brighter, I guess is the best thing to say. Like,
Yes.
Everything else is, I don't need to win another Ironman to be happy. Just towing that finish line and being able to do my best. I mean, that's winning in my book. So
How old are your kids now?
He's 5, so
Okay.
he's 5, and he's done a number of Iron
I was
Kids
going to
races.
say, I think I've seen him do some of the Iron Kids.
Yeah, and he doesn't stop. He every night he wants to go out. Dad, will you go bike with me when we go get the mail or something like that? So he definitely has that energy. So as I age, I probably won't be slowing down at all because I'll be trying to keep up with him.
Well, what's so funny is we started yesterday's interviews with Taylor Knibb, whose mom, right, took the kids to Kona in 2010, to watch her race, and Ben Canute, who grew up with the sport, with the multi-sport maniacs, and Freddie Funk, and so we're seeing that second generation, and your little guy might end up in that as well. Yeah,
for sure. When the beginning of the whole pandemic, what could I do? We were in Florida then. I literally swam with him every single day. So before he was 3, he could swim 25 yards across the pool without any help. So I wish I had started when I was that little. So, but he really enjoys it, and I think that's the most important thing, is really keeping the enjoyment there for kids and really everyone. Because if you're not enjoying it, why are you doing it?
And you still love it.
I do.
We're seeing Jan Frodeno's 41. We're seeing people racing at a high level when they're older. Yeah. At the same time, we've got 23-year-olds coming in where they used to. Craig Alexander didn't do his first Ironman until I think he said 34. Where now they're starting when they're 21, 22 years old.
Oh yeah, it's definitely changed. I think. 2019, the top 4 guys, the average age was 37 years old.
Oh my God.
And for this year, the top 4 guys, the average age was 26.
That is pretty amazing.
So that is a big difference. So there's a new era coming in, but you know what? With that said, we can keep pushing our limits no matter what age you are, as long as you're having fun and being smart about things. And
The other thing, it's funny, obviously after your accident, you're going, I'm going to be doing more training indoors. I think the training indoors, especially during the pandemic when there were no racing and people could just focus on, there was no travel, there was no racing, there was no recovery and all that type of stuff. It was just blocks of solid training. I think that helped to accelerate where we're at now because everybody got faster.
Yeah, I think everyone did. For me, it's I think a really good quality bang for your buck. I think I feel like if you're pushing 270, 280 watts inside, that's probably equivalent to close to 300 watts outside.
Right.
It's in the. For me personally, I felt like my running takes a step back if I don't do a whole lot of treadmill running. And for the last couple of years, I didn't really have a treadmill, so I just bought a treadmill a couple weeks ago, and I started running and just having that faster cadence and turnover, and having a lot of technology, heart rate,
right, all of it.
Yeah, all that information is good, and people are pushing limits, but also the big limit to push is the mind too.
Always. Yeah. Matt, always such a treat to get to chat with you. Thanks for being such a great host here in beautiful St. George.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the race on both days too.
I love it. Matt Russell has been our guest, everybody. Again, Breakfast with Bob. Beautiful St. George, Utah. Hold on. We will be right back.